Now that you have completed your Delaware Security Guard training course, we will outline the 5-step process to apply for your Delaware Security Guard license. While there are 5 steps, realistically you will be involved with the first 4 steps, which include training, testing, fingerprinting and submission of an application. The 5th and final step is approval or denial, which is determined by professional licensing. The purpose of this instruction video is to outline the application process. However, if you miss something, no worries. This process is outlined on the Delaware State Police website under Professional Licensing. There, the process can be reviewed at your own pace. Please understand, you and/or your agency will need access to the Internet via computer, smartphone or tablet to complete the licensing process. Accordingly, you should consult the Delaware State Police website, locate the Professional Licensing tab, then select Security Guards. This will outline the full licensing process and provide you with the necessary links to Ident2Go and Professional Licensing. When landing on the Professional Licensing Security Guards, Armed Security Guards page, you will see several collapsible options. Please select Unarmed Security Guard, Yellow Card, New and Renewal option. The first section will outline the 5-step license process and provide you with the necessary links, email addresses, and forms to complete the licensing process. For future reference, there is a frequently asked questions or FAQ section below the license process, which opens up and answers any questions about the industry you might have. Step number 1 of the licensing process is completing the training course. Now that you have completed the course, you will be emailed your Security Guard training certificate, which will look like this. Training certificates are normally emailed within 24 hours of the course being completed. When it arrives, please review it to make sure your name is spelled correctly and all other information accurately reflects your training course. Lastly, make sure the training certificate has been signed by me, the instructor. If possible, you can print this certificate and insert your date of birth. If you are unable to print the certificate, an electronic view of it can be presented to Deltech when you arrive for your testing appointment. Step number 2 is testing. As mentioned, you will need to appear in person and successfully complete a Delaware Security Guard test, which is administered exclusively at 3 Deltech campuses. The test is not associated with this class and there is a separate $49 fee assessed for it. To register for the test, you will do the same as you did for this course on the Delaware Tech Workforce Development web page. Simply search Security Guard test. There will be several time, date and location choices based on your individual needs. The test is offered in all 3 counties in Delaware, however it is most frequently scheduled at the Stanton, Newcastle County campus. Obviously, it would be in your best interest to take the test while the training material is fresh in your mind, and you are recommended to take the test as soon as you are able to do so. You have 1 year from the date on your training certificate to appear for and pass the Security Guard test. If you do not take the Security Guard test within 1 year from the date issued and printed on your training certificate, you will need to complete the training course again. Once you have selected and registered for your test, you are strongly encouraged to continue your preparation by studying. Hopefully you have paid attention during this course and applied yourself during the quizzes, which should give you a good baseline of your overall preparation. Regardless, you are strongly encouraged to review the Delaware Security Guard Study Guide. An electronic copy of this manual and an internet link for it was sent to you before the class began. However, you can access this anytime on the Professional Licensing website, where the training process is explained in one of the FAQs. Individuals study and learn at different paces. Please understand what works best when you are preparing for a test. The Security Guard test standard education level is that of a sophomore in high school. On the date of your test, please allow yourself time to travel and arrive approximately 15 minutes before the test starts. You may need time to locate the particular test room on the campus. Testers who arrive late cannot be granted access once the test begins. Make sure you have your valid photo identification, which includes your date of birth, on your person, as Deltec will need to confirm your identity. ID will most often be a driver license or a state-issued ID card. Also have your printed training certificate available. Again, if a printed copy is not available, an electronically viewable version is permitted. This is not an open book test and you will not be permitted any educational material when sitting for the test. The test proctor will be present and provide detailed instructions. Now, some details about the test itself. The test is administered at your own individual computer terminal. There is no writing or darkened circles and no paper involved. There are 60 multiple choice or true-false questions. The questions are selected randomly from a bank of 100 questions from Deltec. There may be some scenario-based questions, meaning there may be 2 or 3 questions about the same scenario. Regardless, all questions are in the form of multiple choice or true-false. Every tester will have their own individual set of questions. You will have 2 hours or 120 minutes to complete the test. Some testers will finish sooner than others. Please take the test at a pace which works for you and do not feel rushed. You will need to obtain a 75% score on the test to receive your test certificate. You will be advised immediately after completing the test if you passed or did not meet the passing standard. The majority of testers achieve a passing score on their first attempt. In fact, students who take this Deltec Security Guard training course have a pass rate above 95% on a first attempt. If you don't achieve a passing score your first time, you can take the test again but will need to re-register and pay the same $49 fee. There is no limit on the amount of times you can attempt to pass the test within 1 year from training. You will not need to take the training course again so long as you obtain a passing score within 1 year from the date of your training certificate. If you pass the test, you will be presented with a test certificate from Deltec. Please hold on to this test certificate as you will need it when applying for your license. So you are aware, test is sometimes referred to as the exam. Please understand they mean the same thing. Once you have passed your security guard test, you are done interacting with Deltec and will now move on to step number 3 and number 4. Step number 3 is fingerprinting through Ident2Go and step number 4 is submitting an application to professional licensing. Step number 3 is relatively easy and involves you registering with Ident2Go to obtain your fingerprints and the ID photo which will appear on your security guard identification card. Step number 3 on the Delaware State Police Professional Licensing website provides you with a registration link to Ident2Go and the Security Guard Service Code. Ident2Go is a nationwide fingerprint processing agency and have multiple locations throughout Delaware. The hours of operation are outlined for each. Some locations offer weekend and evening appointments. The fingerprinting fee is paid directly to Ident2Go and is approximately $105. Should you apply through an out-of-state Ident2Go location, the fee may be higher. Please consult Ident2Go regarding payment methods and other details. Should you already be employed by a security guard agency, they may have established payment methods and you are advised to consult with your agency accordingly. When arriving for your Ident2Go appointment, please follow all outlined directions from them, including having your valid ID on your person. Ident2Go will not accept any forms or applications intended for professional licensing, nor do they need your training or testing certifications. Once you have been fingerprinted and photographed by Ident2Go, they will provide this information to professional licensing directly. Step number 4 is completed entirely online, using email directly to professional licensing. You will not be required to visit a professional licensing location to submit your application. Step number 4 on the Delaware State Police Professional Licensing website will provide you with a link to the electronically fillable application. You will need to print the completed application or save it as an electronic file and attach the same to your email using the email address provided. Should you not have access to a scanner, other identifiable methods of submission such as photo reproduction will be accepted. Electronic signatures on applications are acceptable. While Dell Tech has a record of testers who successfully pass the security guard test, you still need to include a copy of the test certificate with your application. You do not need to provide your training certificate, as Dell Tech already granted you access to the test. Please include all requested information on the application, otherwise this may result in a processing delay. You may complete steps number 3 and number 4 at the same time or even step number 4 before number 3. Regardless, professional licensing will not proceed with processing an application unless Ident2Go has returned fingerprint background results and the application has been received. Lastly, remember you must apply for your security license within 1 year from your test certification date. Doing so as soon as possible is the recommendation. At this point, your portion of the application process has been completed. Step number 5 will be approval or denial from professional licensing. Generally speaking, most applicants understand their background and have no issues with being approved, therefore the approval rate is about 98% of applicants. On your application, you will indicate if you want your security ID card to be mailed, picked up at the Dover office or have your agency pick up your card. This agency pickup option is currently limited to 2 security agencies. Regardless of mailing or picking up, all approved unarmed yellow card security guards will be sent an email from professional licensing indicating their security guard ID card license has been approved. This email allows the new or renewed guard to begin or remain working immediately for 15 days. Please note, firearms red card approvals will not be sent via email. Delaware Security Guard unarmed yellow card IDs are valid for 5 years and expire on the license holder's date of birth. Please make note of this date, as professional licensing is not able to send out license expiration reminders. The current renewal process for a security guard unarmed yellow card is the same as the initial process and includes the same training, testing, fingerprinting and application process. You are strongly encouraged to begin this process 2 to 3 months in advance of your expiration date. For those of you interested in applying for your security guard firearms ID card license, also referred to as a red card, you are welcome to consult this section on the professional licensing website. Dell Tech does not offer firearms training. This needs to be obtained through a firearms trainer approved by professional licensing. Again, all this information is outlined on the professional licensing website. If you do apply for your firearms red card, please understand this expires annually and requires the submission of training and shooting certifications to remain valid. You also cannot hold a valid firearms red card unless your unarmed yellow card is valid. Just a reminder, all of these 5 steps can be reviewed anytime at your own pace on the Delaware State Police Professional Licensing website. This concludes your Delaware Security Guard training course. Your training certificate will be emailed to you within 24 hours provided you have viewed all the course videos and completed all 4 unit quizzes. Thank you for choosing Dell Tech to provide you with training as a Delaware Security Guard. You have chosen to undertake a unique responsibility and are being granted the public's trust. Be proud of your occupation as you serve the citizens of Delaware and others. Please be safe in all your endeavors and thank you in advance for your service.